The concept of the Karen is defined by dictionary.com as an obnoxious, angry, entitled, and often racist middle-aged white woman who uses her privilege to get her way or police other people's behaviors. We've all seen the videos, a woman screaming at a manager in a Target, or the woman who called the cops on a little girl who was selling water in order to pay for her trip to Disneyland, and let's not forget the woman who called the cops on a group of people having a cookout in a park and then crying when the cops wouldn't do anything about those people who were just having a nice day until, Karen showed up. The privilege and sense of entitlement these people have is not only astounding, but at times dangerous. In recent years, multiple Karens have made their way into the halls of power of the United States. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and of course, Florida First Lady Casey DeSantis, a woman who some call the true power behind the Alligator throne of Florida. That said, it's time to do what a Karen could never do, and that's chill the hell out as we discuss America's Karen tonight on this episode of I Do Not Trust This Person, The Weird Lives of Ron and Casey DeSantis. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of I Do Not Trust This Person, The Weird Lives of Ron and Casey DeSantis. And I emphasize weird quite a bit when I say that because, my God, they are truly, truly some of the weirdest people ever. I mean, really, especially, we've covered Ron testing women with thigh food, not food made from a thigh. Chicken thigh is pretty good.
Can't talk about that again.
Yeah. Or him, potentially overseeing food torture at Guantanamo Bay. And
did we already talk about that topic?
Yeah.
I must have blocked that out of my memory.
Yeah. Well, that was we did thigh food in episode 1 about how he's real weird. We did how he's a real jerk and with the Guantanamo Bay and a few other just terrible asshole things.
Did we talk about his shoes already?
Oh yeah, we'll get to his shoes pretty much at the top because we're going to answer a secret question that an outward question we've all had about his shoes. But real quick, if you like this show, please subscribe to it and subscribe on YouTube if you like it there on America the Podcast Presents. We appreciate it and tell your friends and that's all. So before we get into this, have you ever encountered a Karen, Alanah? In your regular life.
In real life?
Yeah. Obviously we've seen the videos, but
I'm sure I have. I think if I have, I've probably blocked it out of my memory. Because it's so uncomfortable.
Traumatic.
I did see a girl once, a lady, freak out at the airport and get escorted away by police because she was but I don't know if maybe she was just drunk.
That could, didn't you traveled in the spring? I believe that was when this story happened. That could have maybe spring break.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to separate myself when I see things like that escalate. I remember again, once in the airport, there was a lady who was trying to find help. And it was very much an excuse me, excuse me, ma'am.
Lord.
And the lady was like, the airport worker was just walking and this lady was yelling, trying to get her attention, that very tone of voice that you're just oof, that's not going to end well.
Entitled tone.
I'm I'm going to walk away from this situation because I do not want to witness what's going on here.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a Karen?
I have. I was at a Target.
Yes. Which I feel like is a classic place for a Karen.
A lot of places do the Karens at the Targets, or a lot of Karens migrate to the Target and
a lot of TikTok videos of Karens at Targets for sure.
And sometimes I see some at Walmart, but this it's something about Target that is
if you're a Karen at a Walmart, you are.
That's just one in a million.
What do you expect?
What do you expect?
Going to a Walmart.
Yeah, Target, maybe it's Walmart's pretty clean these days, actually. So, and we're going to get to, don't dog Walmart, actually, because that's one of the subjects of this episode. But no, and Target, this woman was complaining to the, teenage staff that the unhoused folks in the area had been using their carts, and she personally took 2 and brought them back herself to the Target. This is off the target off 71 in Lamar. We live in Austin. Go Google that intersection. It's not great. Not an intersection you yourself want to drag two Target carts from that you, I think, stole from some unhoused guys. These employees did not care. And she just went on and on about how, like, this, about how these carts are expensive. And like, I think
why does she have a personal investment in these carts?
I don't know. Like, she's sticking up for Target's finances off these two carts. And that they need to do a better job and blah, blah, blah. Like, she wasn't yelling at them. She was just more mad at, like, unhoused folks, like, stealing the carts and using them for, you know, as carts to tow things around. Like, they don't have enough problems in the world. They've got to have this lady stealing their Target carts are pretty good too, I would say. Like,
yeah, I mean, look, they're nice, especially the newer ones that are all plastic.
Yeah.
They're like really smooth and easy to navigate, you know?
This is a Target shopping cart podcast now, and you're welcome. But
pro Target over here.
Why I am asking about this.
Unless do I have to be anti-Target now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It's a corporation. I'm sure they've done something wrong.
Well, they appropriate pride and make money off that. We could go into a whole thing of like corporations appropriating absolutely everything.
Actually, side note, you know, we haven't been shopping at Target a lot lately.
We haven't. You
No.
know, good for us.
I know.
Pat ourselves on our liberal backs.
Yeah. It's kind of accidental, I think, just because like we just haven't had to go there. But, you know, one less corporation to give money to.
Yeah, give less money to corporations and, you know, shop.
I mean, it just means that our money is going to a different corporation.
Yeah, no, we
probably Amazon. Probably the things we would have been buying at Target, we're buying at Amazon instead, or Costco.
We go to HEB.
Costco's a good
Costco and HEB are good corporations. Yeah. Is there a good corporation? Again, different show. But speaking of the biggest corporation that everybody would know, I'm bringing up the whole Karen thing because our subject today, Casey DeSantis, not just Ron, because Casey is the true power behind this alligator throne of Florida. She was called by someone on MSNBC as first America's Karen, that she has an image problem of being that, which she has now embraced. But she also was talking one day where she was complaining that because of Bidenomics or whatever, Bidenflation, that she now has to shop at Walmart, and was complaining about that, like it was such a, you know, so beneath her that she can't afford, like, that groceries cost way too much. They do cost a lot, but it's, you know, lots of people shop at Walmart, and then they ended up calling her Walmart Melania because,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
This is the phrase I told you the other day, like, I'm going to make you happy with one set of words. And
that's
it's Walmart
so funny.
Melania. And it fits. And she's embracing it though, like too, because she got called this because she was wearing that. Do you remember when Melania wore that jacket of, I don't really care? She wore something similar. And I probably have it in here somewhere, but I don't remember what it is. It was some dumb jacket,
it's
just
a
like
Ron
Melania's
DeSantis thing. The woke.
Oh, woke. Well, where woke goes to die.
Where woke goes to die.
That's what I knew. It was something like that.
Her jacket said that on it.
So that's stupid. Florida's unofficial Ron DeSantis motto. But
you know, it's very funny if we can just think about this, like, image that is so elitist, right? Like, and
the thing the right always says that they hate.
Right. It's just, it's so fascinating because
when Ron and Casey are so elitist.
Right.
Like,
you've got Ron DeSantis who went to Harvard and
now
Yale?
He says he went to Harvard and Yale, and now he says he just went to college in the Northeast.
Yeah.
He does to
separate himself.
But what person do you know does not say they went to Harvard when they went to Harvard?
Yeah.
Every single one of those people.
Like, there are really like only elitist schools in the Northeast.
That's true. There's Georgetown, Brown, there's a whole bunch of other schools up there.
Yeah, but those are all excellent schools that are also elitist.
They're also elitist, yeah. But Ron wants to be a man of the people.
Right, but it's not like, look, he's not, you know, LBJ who went to A&M. Like, and LBJ is the only president who can
say that he didn't go to an Ivy League.
He didn't go to an Ivy League, but no, but it's just fascinating because you've got Ron DeSantis who did that, and then Casey with this image of, you know, like, I think the article that Washington Post, right, did a really great kind of in depth of Casey, as much as they could without any sources, because no one will talk about this woman.
Dude, okay, we're getting into that in a second,
but someone who did make a comment about her, someone who used to work with her on one of her daytime shows, said that if you didn't know her, she may come off as stuck up and
cold. Yeah, we know.
Cold and pretentious. And
we know some people like that, but they're not like that. They may come out like I knew a guy that dresses in all affliction style stuff and looks like a total dude bro, but isn't a dude bro whatsoever. He just really likes affliction.
No, I know, but that combined with her commentary on having to shop at Walmart, she is an elitist.
She is an elitist. Oh yeah, they are the most elitist people. Like we'll just skip around here because one of the things that they did, which I was going to actually leave a little until the end, but it's kind of it gets into why they like their mentality of who they are for me is they went as far to separate themselves from all of their friends once they became governor, and goes, but they are. It's a Ron and Casey, as they said. It's one word with them. They are the governor of Florida. They not only changed their numbers and broke off all contact with their friends, but there's a law in Florida called the Sunshine Law where all politicians' communications have to be easily available for the press and things like that. They worked with AT&T to have phones that do not text message, so that they cannot have any of their communications made public, which is apparently a common thing for politicians, but
which is
we should
genius.
Change that.
It is kind of genius though, and I bet Ted Cruz and his wife wish that they had that during the ice storm.
Oh my God.
2021.
It was Ted Cruz's text message. His wife didn't leak it. Their friends leaked it. So
no, but it was text messages with his wife.
It was a text chain about them going to Cancun.
So I'm saying, it would have been great. Ted Cruz should have his and his wife's texts turned off.
I'm sure we have some.
Them.
I don't think we even have a sunshine law here. I am surprised Florida does, but I think Florida used to be blue a long time ago, or who knows. But
it is interesting. So that without a doubt, the one thing that stood out to me about this article was the fact that no one knows her
anymore, especially.
But even like the folks that did know her won't talk about her.
No, they've either all probably signed NDAs. Like they got a few words out of her hairstylist.
No, they didn't.
They said you need to know. The most they got out of her was you should talk to Casey.
Yeah, that's all she said.
That's it. And then, nobody would even go on record of talking about her.
And they talked to a couple of her ex-coworkers or producers or on some of her daytime shows, but they said nothing except for just she's
private.
Yeah, she's private. Yeah. She's a hard worker. Mm-hmm. She's very passionate about what she does. Yeah. They had a couple of stories here and there about how hard she works on like different stories and things like that. But otherwise, nothing. Yeah, nothing personal. And they talked about how, she kept her personal life completely separate. Mm-hmm. Work was only about work.
Yeah. It's like
nobody knows anything.
No, they don't have her. People over like especially at the governor's mansion. Like
they don't have visitors. They don't have
ever, they didn't really do that before either, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But, so I want to get into why the teamwork here that they seem to have. I went into this thinking that, okay, he's the lesser here and she is the one actually in control. No. Like it is the whole behind every man, there's an even more powerful, capable woman. That is the case, but he is also just as scary and capable. Like this is true power couple teamwork. This is Frank and Claire Underwood, but like, they actually love each other a lot, and they would probably kill the country just to survive themselves. Like that's how scary they come off in some of this, especially how he operates with other politicians, which we'll get to. But
it's fascinating.
It's truly,
they are definitely. And look, there's a part of me that is in not in awe, but just like I have to.
Respect game.
Yeah, right. Like she is an incredibly powerful, influential person. And, I'm like, all right, that's, as a woman, I have to kind of be like, that's pretty impressive. But the evil.
Yeah, the evil.
Evilness.
The evil, and the evil's there. It's,
And the manipulation and the control. She
wanted to emulate, without saying it, Hillary Clinton, like with a lot of her actions and like.
No, she wanted to emulate Melania.
Well, she wanted to emulate, she wanted to emulate Melania and her style, and she wanted to emulate Hillary and her actions.
And her power.
And her power. Yeah, because Hillary and Bill were that same kind of power couple and still basically are. And I would say Hillary's the more powerful one in this situation now, but still. But
yeah, but what's weird about what's creepy about Ron and Casey is the fact that it happens just very behind the scenes and in this kind of weird way. I feel like with Bill and Hillary, it's like they're both, smart and educated. And so they both have it's clear that they both have their opinions and their visions and their platform, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with Ron and Casey, it's like they're trying to put on this image of, oh, I'm just a housewife. Don't mind me. I'm just here because I'm just his wife. And that's the public image that they're trying to put out. But behind closed doors, it's very, very different. And they talk about how she is really influential in every single aspect of his career and his decision making and his life and everything. Yeah.
So much so that I'm going to answer one of the many questions we've had. Where the fuck did his boots come from? So from this Washington Post article, I'm going to read just a few quotes from it. She knew the cowboy boots he should wear, even though at first he complained that they hurt his feet, until a staffer suggested he buy dress shoes instead, at which point Ron said, Casey got them for me, and that was the end of that conversation about the cowboy boots. So it is, her word is God law.
Yeah.
Her word is
I think
absolute.
There's another similar situation with an ear set.
The earpieces.
The earpiece. Same thing.
And Casey got him for you, and then he stopped talking about it.
Right. He was complaining about the earpiece. He didn't realize she had picked it out.
Exactly.
So he was complaining about the earpiece, and then the staffer informed him that she was the one who had picked it out for him, and he said not a single thing more about it.
Yeah. Another one of the things that we had, I think, talked about in this show or possibly on America the Conversation, where there was a rumor that he had been told to be more likable and had been talked about him needing to be more likable. Apparently that comes from the fact that Casey wrote the words likable in all caps on his notepad during one of his events in 2018. So
I think it was during
be likable. What was it? During his campaign for governor.
During a
I don't know what the event
debate.
is.
I think it was during a debate.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, it was the debate. Yeah, because he was acting weird. The image we have, I don't know if it's not, we use it for this or another show, but it's his weird, creepy smile. Like you Google the words Ron DeSantis creepy smile and it'll be kind of a blurry TV image comes up. But it's just like, who taught you how to have a face?
But and that's the thing, that she is, people find her to be incredibly likable.
Yeah, and she is, and she will sign a poster, he'll sign the poster and he'll say, oh yeah, Casey will sign it for you to the, their fans, and then she'll sign it and say, well, this is where it goes down in value. She will bring herself down to prop him up.
Right.
Because
which is insane.
Yeah, it's strategic.
But it's strategic.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, everything that they do is extremely strategic, and it's made to look just natural, but it absolutely is
not.
No,
it's absolutely not. No way does she think that in regular, maybe she does, but she would never say that on a normal basis, but she doesn't believe it, at least.
And in the article, they talk about her saying that at 2 or 3 different instances. So it's clearly a line that she has, that she,
her speech,
that gets a little laugh and lands well with the audience. And
makes them seem folksy.
I'm sure the men like it too, because it's kind of this, kind of dumb housewife kind of thing. Which is fascinating.
Yeah, she has, and I'll go as, we'll put this in now, so much control in his campaign with him. And maybe control is the wrong word. No, I do feel like it is control, because she actually, she has an office in his office, I believe.
I love this.
Normally reserved for the chief of staff. And
yes. So, you think about in the,
The West Wing.
In the West Wing, right? The chief of staff is always
adjacent, like really not that far. Yeah.
And so, no, I'm pretty sure in the West Wing,
it's like 2 doors down.
It is it's connected.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But this,
let's not give blueprints of the White House out.
No. Well, I was talking about the show.
Sure. Yeah.
But I realize it's based on a true thing. But no, so she said that the former first lady had an office in the governor's mansion, but she wanted to be in the Capitol building, which is where
legislation is.
Which is where his office is as governor. And so she took over the chief of staff's office, which is huge and has a direct door to the governor's office.
Oh, wow.
So they are in connecting offices. And the chief of staff got booted to a
office.
Small
what was meant for an administrative assistant is what it said.
That's funny.
So with that, and it seems to be working because 100 different senators or just Congress people backed DeSantis for president originally when he was running. We're out of the
113.
Yeah.
100 outwardly.
And those other ones were probably just supporting Trump.
No, 6 of them didn't say anything.
Oh, did they not? Okay, I didn't read that part.
And one of them came out to support Trump.
Oh, okay, that was probably Byron Donalds.
But they talked about how because they talk about how they are so quick
whipped,
to
literally.
They're so quick to cut someone out. And,
yes.
And make sure that if you cross them, you will be
see the
sorry.
Door. Yeah, you
done. Will be kicked out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, which is what has created this fear. And you see it in the fact that nobody will talk about her. Yeah,
former Republican House member said people are terrified of them. These guys are not normal politicos. There's no inner circle because they just chop off heads and move on so quickly. Like that is like...
That's like one of the only quotes they got from someone talking.
One person. Well, because he was he's retired now. He has no skin in the game.
It's very interesting. And I think it's... They fascinate me as a couple because of what we said at the beginning. It's this thing where they are pretending to be folksy and of the people. However, they are incredibly elitist and intelligent. It makes them extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
And they're young, which is...
they're not that much older than us. It's
Trump,
crazy.
Where we're just waiting for him to die. It's they're going to be around a long time.
Healthy naval officer. She's
young 40s,
healthy, like
not even 45.
3 kids, normal. Yeah, they're not even. My God, I cannot believe they're that much older than us. I don't like that I am that close to Ron DeSantis' age. It makes me feel.
She's only 42, I think, and he's 44.
God. That's too close.
So they're young. They're going to be around a long time, have a long political career. And so he will absolutely run for
in 28
president again.
Well, will he win? That's literally the next episode of this show. But despite being young, they have like the oldest philosophies. Here's some of the verbiage he uses, and that I'm sure she helped him craft for his stage presence. Called the pandemic a Faucian dystopia, woke ideology as a mind virus, parents are seeing gender identity issues shoved down their throats, the governor's office would wield 100% executive power and it would spit nails for its mission, and that there were not going to be any leaks and it's a pack your bags and you're gone kind of a thing if anything like that happens.
It ties into this...
just cutthroat...
And she has...
Dare I say fascism? Oh, sorry, YouTube. Please don't demonetize.
And she has painted this, has taken all of this and painted it as him being a fighter.
Yes,
A fighter for the people of Florida, a fighter for your rights, a fighter for your freedoms. And so trying to showcase it as a positive and spin it, away from being described in that way. But it's clearly he's kind of psychotic.
Yeah, and to your point of him being a fighter, she called his political abilities a God-given gift, and on the 8th day, God made a fighter. I love you, Ron. And she also, said she married her hero, which is nice, but
that's
it's still,
creepy.
If that's your hero,
I remember,
you need
I
better
remember
heroes.
reading that, and I was like,
exists.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
Why is he? Because they met,
He was a no, he wasn't a congressperson.
No, he wasn't a congressperson yet.
What was, oh yeah, I forgot to.
I think he was just in,
a city councilman or an activist or something.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
don't know. I mean, we
should have looked that up.
He had worked at Guantanamo. He had, he had been a JAG, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, he was a personality of some sorts, though. I could have sworn. Yeah, look that up real quick.
They got married in 2009
at Disney World.
At Disney World,
yeah, before it went all woke, according to them. You mean just not giving a shit about gay people existing?
That is my favorite little tidbit that I learned. Out of all of this. It's just hilarious.
One other Ron quote real quick. He said that one of his quotes was that they're basically going to do so much that whatever SOB succeeds him as governor will have nothing left to accomplish because I'm going to get all of the meat off the bone.
Like, yeah, that's such a crazy.
That's Republican small government kind of shit, right? Like they just, they want to chop everything out. They don't want anybody to have rights, more or less. I mean, argue me on it all you want. You're going to end up trying to, you're not going to win that argument. Republicans don't want people to have rights. They constantly try and get rid of voting rights. Prove me wrong, everybody. You won't, because there's no Republicans listening to this show.
They met in 2006. And she was a news anchor. This was before she got her own show.
Right, she did. She had a View style show
after
called
this,
The Talk, or something like, or not
the
Talk,
Chat, or something.
Yeah.
But when they met, she was still a news anchor for a local channel, and in Jacksonville. And he graduated Harvard in 2005, so he was a JAG when they met. In 2006.
Okay, so why was he your hero? Like, he didn't accomplish anything other than torturing
maybe
people,
because he went to
people, allegedly.
Yeah, who knows? And then they married in 2009 at Disney. Anyway, so can we get back to that piece?
Yeah.
I just want to say something.
The Disney. Yes,
Disney
please.
Adults are a certain type of person.
They really are.
Now, she claims that the reason she picked Disney as their venue, and the reason she picked Disney as their venue was because her parents loved going to Disney. And that to me is such an odd reason, and I don't know that I believe it, because why would you pick
a place your parents like going? Why not a place you both like going? Okay.
You are clearly, by the time they married in 2009, you could tell that that Ron was probably going to have some political aspirations and was already going in that direction. So why would you pick Disney as the place you would get married? Because your parents like it? I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they also, did you know they changed their name a little bit?
This is talk about this for a little bit?
This is tidbit. Weird. So we all call him Ron DeSantis. Like that's how that they've arranged it. Apparently it was D-E-E, like the pronunciation, but it's still D-E Santis, DeSantis, but it's DeSantis is how they had originally pronounced it. And like that used to be his nickname was D. Like the letter D, like when he was a baseball player. Ron was a baseball player in college. God, if he just kept going with that, it would have been, world would be a better place. Florida would be a better place.
Great little tidbit. And I guarantee you.
She says she never noticed the change. Like, I mean, how do you not notice? It's like me going Philippi. But Felipe.
But then she talks about there's a comment in the article about how it probably was her doing, right? It has the smell of a Casey influence.
It says here, at some point, people just assumed that it was Casey's idea to change it.
And it makes sense because DeSantis kind of sounds more country and a little more like, lowbrow.
Isn't it more Italian like he is?
DeSantis sounds classier. I also think it's hilarious, side note, that she minored in French.
I saw that. I could not, isn't that the most, oh my God.
What an elitist.
An elitist language from an elitist country.
I minored in French in college, but I own my liberal coastal elite.
That's fine.
Badge as a badge of honor.
Yeah, France is great. And,
but that's another little tidbit. It's like, okay, so in college you minored in French. Why?
Like, why would you do that?
And you were rich growing up because it talks about how when she goes home to visit her hometown of Troy, Ohio, they talk about how she was always off in competitions, horseback riding, and her sister was always off in competitions, ice skating.
So she's an equestrian competitor. So that's the most elitist you can
thing
be.
that you can do.
Dressage,
with
horse dancing for
dressage while she's minoring in French. It's like, okay.
You are, wow, the most elite. Like this is what I think they are. And it is, I think they are trying to, in a bad way, because not even, well, Reagan was really bad, but still, I feel like Ron might be almost a bit worse. But this is a Nancy and Ronald Reagan scenario because they are elitist. They did go to Harvard, or he at least went to Harvard. And like you said, she grew up rich. But when the writing was on the wall for the Reagans, they weren't, their clout was running out. Nancy had told Ronald, and there's a wonderful drunk history on this, as well as many other very good researched articles on the same subject. Fun fact, drunk history does more research than most within the History Channel. But in this situation, Nancy said, we need to become they used to be liberals. Like Ronald Reagan defended the people that were on the communist list. And he was the head of the Screen Actors Guild, I think, at one point. But she said, we need to become the face of the conservative movement. And then they made their way to the governor's mansion. And then obviously, presidency and the AIDS epidemic and crack to the inner cities dealt by the CIA. Allegedly. But that's Reagan. And that's what Ron is trying to do as well. Like they're trying to craft this image, which is, all politicians do it. I'm sure the Obamas did it and the Clintons did it. Like the Bushes did it. There was I think this article mentions that, Barb Bush, there was always the wonder, is she the real power behind that throne there? Is she but they were a true partnership as well. And
no, you're right. It talks about in that article that she kind of had this image that she put out of being kind of a grandma, very sweet, but that behind the scenes, she had a very sharp tongue and was very, critical and opinionated and judgmental and all of that.
And so was FDR's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah. Eleanor Roosevelt was saying it's not an uncommon thing.
No, I mean, women have, thoughts and brains.
Yeah, they do. No, it's just but when it gets scary is these people.
But it's just never been it's never been accepted for women to be outspoken in that way. So, of course, every political couple has always had to kind of manufacture a little bit, to avoid criticism and to put themselves in the best light. But it's just the inauthenticity of these two, I think, that really is gross.
Yeah, it is gross. Like they don't, and that's most politicians, right? But it's especially weird when they are themselves so weird, and Ron is so weird. And
that they don't have anyone around them who is
a friend.
Yeah. That's odd.
That's odd. I mean, you go as far to cut off all your friends and disable text message and not give anybody your number.
It makes that's right. Like they changed their phone number and didn't give it out to anybody, and no friends.
No normal person does that.
No people from their former, lives from when they worked at other places. Can get a hold of them and can talk to them. So it's just weird, You don't
the weird lives of Ron and Casey DeSantis, you could say.
They're just strange people.
The weirdest thing, and I don't trust them. No, I don't trust them. I do not trust these people.
No, I don't.
Even especially when you have weird political ads this is from Ron when he was running for governor. And Casey narrating it. The link is in the description. We're going to play the audio for you here. I suggest you go watch the video as well, because it's even weirder when you're watching the video. So we'll cut it in right here.
Everyone knows my husband, Ron DeSantis, is endorsed by President Trump, but he's also an amazing dad. Ron loves playing with the kids.
Build the wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired." I love that part.
He's teaching Madison to talk.
Make America great again.
People say Ron's all Trump, but he is so much more.
Big league. So good.
I just thought you should know.
Ron DeSantis for governor.
So,
man.
Yeah, build that wall. And that my favorite one was that very, very, very end. Bigley, Oh my God.
That is
it's
so
like
cringy.
that was the cringiest thing I've ever watched. And I hate that I had to watch it again for this, but and I highly recommend you guys again, go cringe with us at this.
Yeah, I mean, the audio really doesn't do it
weird.
justice because you got to see they are using their children.
Their children. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we should have said that part.
To,
build the wall with fake those cardboard bricks that you give to kids at a dentist office or something.
Cardboard?
Yeah, those bricks are made of
Rubber?
cardboard.
Oh.
Yeah, I had some as a kid. A mobile, baby's got a MAGA shirt. This is a baby.
Yeah, baby.
That they're using.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It's
a mobile
so
above
gross,
his crib.
and it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Don't involve your kids in anything.
But
Like,
here's the thing,
I don't like that.
I
It really
saw an
bugs
article
me.
that talked about how Ron DeSantis really wants people to know that he is young and has young children.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wants to be seen.
virile male.
Yeah, like something about
It's the big man syndrome, the strong man
It's
thing.
also, I think, and this was when he was running for office. I think it's also pre him losing
everything and being a laughing stock
but when
of the
he
nation.
was still running for president and he wanted to be seen as young and energetic against Trump.
Mm-hmm. And having young kids means
and
you
having
yourself
young
are young.
kids, and having that perfect family picture of loving husband, wife, and 3 little cute children.
Yeah.
And so he used his children a lot on the campaign trail.
It's weird. That's an even weirder thing because like most politicians want to keep their kids out of it unless they're on stage. They're like waving as a family. They're showing that family unit. I get that. Every political family does that. But like I like we were talking about before.
But they do it for a reason, which is to
but
show
not in a political ad like that. Like this is next level. Like showing him or I don't know what the baby is. Well, they're definitely only on the 2 gender spectrum in that household. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
With that, but
their
the baby in the crib
all have
like,
M names.
Yeah. Oh, of course they do. Madison, McKinsey, and Malcolm are who
Madison
knows?
is the oldest.
I guessed on that.
You're
there you go.
right.
There's always a Madison with white people.
Yeah, Madison is the
no
oldest.
offense to the Madisons out there.
I think. And then I
do have
can't
the whitest
remember
name.
the son's name. I'll have to look. But
you don't. We don't need to tell the world about their kids.
No, but their youngest daughter's name is Mamie.
Oh, wow. All right.
Mason. Did you say Mason?
I think I did say Mason.
Oh,
No, I
man.
said Malcolm. It's basically Mason.
Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Why Mamie?
I don't know,
Just
but
side
it's.
note.
I remember when Trump got elected and people were going after Barron for a little bit. And it was just like, even like people on our side were like, hey, no kids. Like, do not fuck with the kids. Like, that's a step too far. And I'm scared that that's going to end up happening to these poor kids. I mean, they made fun of Ted Cruz. They made fun of Ted Cruz's kids for not liking him. So I don't think they were really making fun of his
Which
kids.
was
but
funny.
Yeah, like, and, just. It weirds me out when politicians
Yeah,
involve
but
the
they
kids
did
on
that
that
to
level.
Sasha and Malia when, I mean, it's not.
I didn't like it then.
No,
like,
of course
yeah.
not. It's terrible, but
I know.
it is what this. It's what the
But
media
again, I
and
think
the
the
paparazzi
Obamas
and the
we're just having Sasha and Malia on stage, like waving, and that's
Yeah,
it.
no.
But like not putting him in a MAGA shirt.
No,
and
but
good grief.
this
for her. I guess
people
maybe
just
the one in a MAGA shirt.
people just get obsessed with celebrity gossip,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like and jump to conclusions and go crazy with it, just like they did with Kate Middleton recently.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were in that bunch.
Barely, just lightly.
Yeah. I had some. Well, okay. They on the Middleton subject, like they lie a lot. The royal family lies a
Right.
lot. Like it.
But it kind
makes-
of goes back to what we were talking about, how like so much of everything is strategic and manipulated.
Mhm. Yes, it is.
So
yeah.
it makes
Especially
it,
with the
and they
royals.
try to control the story and control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it hard sometimes to believe things.
Yeah.
But should everybody have gone down a rabbit hole of making the most insane assumptions about what was going on with her?
No.
Probably not.
Probably not.
You know?
And that, to be fair, that was BBC's fault. Whichever media outlet said the princess hasn't been seen in a while, and Prince William didn't kill that guy.
It
or
probably
something.
wasn't the BBC. It was probably, the
it wasn't
tabloids
the BBC.
in
But it was
the
a
UK are
newspaper that said
awful.
out of nowhere, like, he did. Like some guy had apparently a friend close to their family had died, and then they said, Princess Kate hasn't been seen in a while, and William did not kill the guy.
Yeah, and then rumors about
no one thought that. You could just said,
affair, and
we would have all thought that Kate was.
But
sick,
that's the problem with the tabloids, and then TikTok just took it and ran with it, and
that's with probably why the DeSantises don't want their fucking text messages out, because they that's Florida's laws let them dig into these people's lives. And by the way, I'm very, very for that. If you are a public servant at that kind of level, I don't think you really get that private of a life. Like, you can have some privacy to yourself, but we need to know you are the leader of a state or of a nation, or a representative. Like, I don't think you should have that much, not your private text messages, but maybe, I don't know. There's been so much lying happening and so much unaccountability, and these people, with the amount of lies that they're able to tell and not have, they keep so many things close knit. Like, even when he was in Congress, he had a do not disturb sign that was two-sided, because he didn't want anybody talking to him. They keep everything so tight.
Yeah. It's just with
crazy.
Everything, with all of the lies about, especially with the money and all the things that come out about, politicians taking money for this or that, or buying stocks and making money off of it.
Everything that George Santos did. Are you just recapping George Santos
everything
series?
George Santos did. And all of those politicians and, money and power, man.
Yeah. And if their text messages were available, we probably would have caught George Santos outright. Let's just be clear on that. But and we probably, Ron wouldn't be getting elected to governor, and we would know a bit more about about Casey, and just, I don't know. It's weird that
I just
the
want
amount of
someone
privacy.
to come out and say something about her.
I know.
And nobody has, from her whole life, from her
life.
childhood.
Her parents won't talk. They tried to contact her parents.
Her sister and brother-in-law won't talk.
Which, I would tell my family to not do the same thing.
Of course.
It's not unheard of for that to be a thing, but
although I
no
did
one
think it
knows
was funny
anything.
what her brother-in-law said. Specifically, he said something like, "We don't want to be a part of this."
Oh yeah,
which
it's
feels
they
different.
know. Yeah, so I'll pull that thread. I don't want to be a part of this. To me, speculatively,
yes, let's go down a rabbit hole of speculation.
Just says that they know something, and they know something about them, and they don't want anything to do with it because they either don't agree with them, or they may, but they're their next level. It's a creepy,
it's
cultish
a fear thing.
It's a fear thing.
Potentially, yeah. I agree.
They know what Ron and Casey are
capable of.
Jesus
yeah, no,
Christ.
I thought the same thing. I was my first thought was, I wonder if they don't agree with their politics, and that's why they just want to stay out of it completely. But they also don't want to burn that bridge, or maybe they are scared of them, so they just want to, or they just don't want to get dragged in, and they also want to be private.
Now John and Mary, just whatever their names are now. But that they would then now be in public light, and we would all know their names. We would for some reason know the brother-in-law's name of Ron DeSantis.
It sounds like from childhood, her parents were also very private, and
yes.
So there's just not a lot about her or her family.
Yeah.
Period.
Her mom was a speech therapy coach, speech pathologist, and a teacher, which is so crazy when it comes how much they hurt teachers and the education system in Florida. Good grief. But that's it for this. In a nutshell, Casey is a
powerful.
Is shrewd. What is shrewd the wrong word here? Shrewd is in cutthroat to me. That's why I interpret it as you're focused. I don't, maybe shrewd isn't the right word, but
she is
focused, cutthroat, and capable,
strategic, capable.
A person when people have asked me before, why are you doing Ron DeSantis? He dropped out because they're scary guys. They're this is why, if anything, Casey is why I wanted to do this, because Ron is a goofy guy. He won't be president again. I really do not think he's going to be president. If anything, the Republicans are going to pick Nikki Haley in 28, if there is an election in 28, but we'll see.
I
but
think,
with them, they scare me to my core. Casey scares me to my core. Ron scares me to my core.
I don't think they're going anywhere.
No, they're taking a break.
Absolutely, they are in a sense Claire and Frank, where they want that power. They don't want to let go of it, and they will do anything they can to keep it. And
the only way from there is like they can't run for governor again. And again, I say they can't run for governor again because it is the two of them. But president's the only other place he can go. Like, unless he's appointed to a Republican cabinet.
Interesting.
But, so
I forgot that there's term limits.
Well, there is for him. There isn't in Texas, but he's not running.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wait, he can't run again?
From what I understood, he can't run again. I could be wrong. And if I am, let us know in a comment by leaving a 5-star review. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Florida, like I read that he is not going to be able to run again. And like, this is his next out is to try and run for president. But again, I highly... Once he became a meme, and the whole putting fingers and the boots thing, and the fact that he is how tall do you think he is? 5'8"? 8. Alanah's a solid 5'8" on this man. It's just not gonna. He's not gonna work. But we'll get into that next episode when we have a few special guests. And again, subscribe and fear Ron and Casey DeSantis. Don't let it control your life, but be as a respectful kind of fear. Know that it's out there. Like a bear might be in the woods or a rattlesnake in the desert. So like that's what they are. We're trying to keep you aware that these people exist. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you when we see you in a week or two. Bye.
You've been listening to I Do Not Trust This Person, Season 2, The Weird Lives of Ron and Casey DeSantis. The show is hosted by Alanah Matos and Tim Philippi. For a full list of news sources and music in this episode, please refer to the show notes. This episode was mixed and edited by Tim Philippi at Shway Media Studios in Austin, Texas. Executive producers for the show are Alanah Matos, Tim Philippi, and Andrew Turner. I Do Not Trust This Person was created by Tim Philippi and is a production of Shway Media and America the Podcast Presents. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com and americathepodcastpresents.com. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
Been a production of Shway Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com.